Hello everyone. So we are back. Today I'll bring you the following up from the last video. So my magical DPS tier list. We're gonna start with the easiest, I think probably downright easiest class to play in the game. Somewhat. I mean, there's still a bit of an argument that it's not the easiest one, but it's one of the most straightforward at the very least. So, shall we go on? We should need to call our trusty carbuncle. And now we shall go on onto the rotation, right? So, open Ruin, recast, pop Bahamut, pop your Searing Wind, start popping your... Ideally you want to delay a bit your Testers and Enkindle and Death Flare, just so they are inside the raid buffs. Then you go into Titan. This is the highest DPS summon. Generally might still catch up a couple of the final raid buffs, like longer lasting, and your own Searing Wind. Ideally you would want to go into Garuda and Swift cast Slipstream, but that's optimization. We're not dealing with that here. So here you have 2 casts, 3 casts, and your final cast. So you have a total of 4 casts. And this is why Summoner tends to be classified as one of the easier jobs and downright the easiest caster. There's like no doubt about it, it's the easiest caster. Doesn't mean it's completely brain dead, but it means it's easy. Because you only need to plan around if it. Because you have a couple of long casts. And the gap close as well. You need to avoid AoE centered on the boss. Then you have your Garuda, which is also dot. So you have to take that into consideration. You just have free movement, as you can see. Titan is just the biggest DPS summon and also completely free movement. Completely. You're also getting Ruin 4. Okay, so now for the actual minute burst phase. We start dumping our Festers. Because you'll need... Okay, now we should be able to drop our Bahamut hitters. And I clipped my GCD so I can get one last GCD in, which you're supposed to as a summoner. And yeah, as you can see, very simple, very straightforward rotation. You have a raid buff, then you have this shield that is about what, 1/3 of your HP? No, 20%, 1/5. You have 2 charges on a 1 minute cooldown. You still have your idle. As per usual, just the basic caster stuff. Alright, so that's Summoner. I think it's self-explanatory why people... It's on my first, as in the ease of play. It's completely simple, it's straightforward, just press the shiny button mostly, and you're probably gonna do fine. You're pressing the shiny buttons. Okay, now, the second would be Redmage, right? I think also pretty self-explanatory. So you would want at least a 5-second countdown for Redmage, just for optimization. We need to cancel. Don't have our embolden. Okay, now we do. So you would want to start cast Vereoro over Thunder at the start. Then you can start popping your instacasts. Ideally, you would want to have... I mean, this is not ideal, just so you know. Just giving you an idea of how it plays. So you want to get your combo inside raid buffs, which is gonna get 1 more hit on the next expansion. And then you're pretty much managing using your procs, because they are better damage than jolts. Better over Thunder, when you run out, you pop Acceleration. Try to keep these cooldown as per usual. Bit of false declaration there. Fine. Pretty much what you're doing with the Redmage. Yes, let's go. Acceleration, that will give you a proc, guaranteed. So you're pretty much just switching around. You can use these Swift Cast as well to try and get another proc. How far are we? So we're still pretty far from Embolden. So what we're gonna do, we'll need to dump some mana, so we'll do a combo. That will also give us more procs. I'm guessing if you're playing optimally, you probably want to dump some mana at some point with Enchanted Reprise. That's optimization, we're not dealing with that here. Just giving you an idea. And the thing with Redmage is, whenever you do a cast, oh, you have movement, right? You also get movement skills. They're pretty decent. With 30 CD, but that's fine. Okay, we should be 6 seconds off Embolden. Start the combo. Because ideally you don't want this to happen. We'll go on ahead. You want to do 3 hits, pop Embolden. So you can pop Magnification, do another combo, all inside your raid box. You can see you can fit your whole combo in the Embolden window. Oh, I actually forgot to change the HUD. But you should still be able to see skills. And yeah, this is Redmage pretty much. More or less always the same. Use your combo to make sure you don't overcap your mana. That mana there. And to get more procs of your Overfires and your stones. While trying to keep your mana balanced. That. And whenever you do a cast, you get a free cast, so you have plenty of movement, and then you also have acceleration and swift cast supplement. And need be, if you really need it, you can do Enchanted Reprise. Keep your GCD rolling. A bit of a DPS loss, but mostly because of your combo, the consumption of your mana means less combos. Ah. So that's Redmage. I'll do this. And actually, I forgot. We should be on this. Right, so you can easily see the skills. I'll go over the summoner skills at the end, need be. Okay, Blackmage. Downright, I don't think there's any kind of doubt that this is the hardest job in the caster class, and probably in the game. When you're talking about actually being a good Blackmage, because Blackmage essentially becomes a turret. So you really need to know what you're doing, especially on high-end content. So, I'm just going to show you more or less how Blackmage plays. I just messed up. I did. And oh, of course, I mess it up. Ah, god damn it. Okay, so this is Blackmage opener take 2. We'll try it again. Right? I'm following balance on this. So don't be surprised if you see me mess up. Messed up already? That's supposed to be... And I should have popped Swift Sharpcast beforehand as well. Guarantee the proc on Thunder. But this is more or less how Blackmage will play. As you can see, pretty long casts. You just essentially embrace the turret gameplay. Because your casts are actually longer than your own GCD. And again, that's a mistake. Four. Go fire 3, fire 4, fire 4, and fire 4. Just one thing, this is a very basic fire Blackmage rotation. So odds are not nowhere near close to playing it like as one should, right? Be aware of that. I'm just giving you an idea of how you play. Because Blackmage actually has one of the most flexible rotations. Because the only point of your rotation is trying to get as much fire force as possible, while keeping uptime on your thunder. Right? So there's plenty of ways to do that, right? Oh, no mistake. Not a mistake. Bum, 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 bum. Yeah, I actually need to use brain power for this. I'm not that used to playing Blackmage. As you can see, you can already have more or less of an idea. Ideally, you should have a prop for Thunder, so you could just fly Thunder without using that as a weak win. Okay. So, you could understand, most of the idea was to get as much fire force as possible. To give you a very basic rotation, I just grabbed it off the balance, but I know for a fact it varies a lot per fight. Generally, triple casts, you want to use them as your only good mobility tool, so you're not going to be using them as I was, as part of your burst, let's say it like that. And as you can see, their cooldowns, they are 2 minutes, so Blackmage has a bit of a burst every 2 minutes as well, but the great strength of Blackmage is that its DPS is always pretty high. It doesn't peak as much as all the other DPSs. It's just a very good, high, stable DPS. Thing is, you need to stand still to cast. So if you want to actually make good use of a Blackmage on your party, you need to plan your strats around the Blackmage. Everyone should adjust a little bit for the Blackmage if you want to make the most out of it. Else he'll just be I guess similar to the other casters, without all the extra utility they have, because both Summoner and Redmage have access to res. Right? So yeah. So get a defensive on mana world, which is a 30% HP barrier. Can save you a lot. Other than that, you get your Addle like all the other casters. Yeah, I did say I would go through Redmage and Summoner skills at the end of the video. One thing I forgot to mention, Scathe. You can use this. As you can see, it's a massive DPS loss. Putting up 100 is nothing. So you really should use your polyglots and triple cast. Think about movement. 310 is actually way more because you get, I think it's 160%, 1.6 multiplier on your You have 3 stacks of Astral Fire. I mean, I know they used to... I remember seeing that somewhere. Maybe it was on some guides or balance or something. But yeah, so it's not 310 potency, is actually quite a bit more. Anyhow, Redmage. I showed engagement on the video, but I didn't show something more important, because you can actually use your movement skills as movement. For example, gold, you go in, right? And then you can do this with displacement for easy movement. So you actually get plenty of movement as a red mage. You can actually very much abuse this at a high level. You also get a magic barrier, which will reduce magic damage taken and raise HP recovered by healing actions. Last 10 seconds, so it's one of your mitigations, and you will have Addle. Oh, very important, you have a heal, heals for a bit, not too much, and you can also res. And since you always get a free cast whenever you do a cast, that's one of the reasons why Redmage is pretty good on progging, is you can res a lot. Hey, you're still limited by your MP, but you're not limited by swift cast, like the healers. So that's pretty important as well. Okay, that. And now Summoner. Okay. Okay, so you have to remember that you have a pet. Very important. You can't use Bahamut and you're summoned if you don't have your pet out. So whenever you die, you actually need to res your pet very, very quickly. You have your shields. You have an Addle. And that's it. You have a heal, but as you can see, this is not something you're supposed to be using. It's one of those artifacts from the fact that Arcanist, that you share a base class with Scholar. So yeah, you can use it at low levels, fine, but as soon as you hit like 50, it just becomes useless, pretty much. This is just an AoE version of Energy Drain. I didn't cover much of AoEs because that's not really the point. We're mostly focusing on raiding and whatnot. So that's why I mostly focused on the single target aspect of the jobs, both on this video, on the previous, and on the following videos. And yeah, that's it. Oh right, you get Swift Cast and you have Res. So you can actually res. You save up your Swift Cast on prog. You're advised to save your Swift Cast so you can help with resing if there's a need to. You can also hardcast res, but hardcast res is always annoying. But you can, which is the main difference between Summoner Redmage and then Blackmage, because Blackmage does not get access to res. You also have access, because I don't have it on the bar, it's very rarely used, which is Sleep, which is an AoE sleep. Can be useful on occasion on dungeons to save the party, but that's it. Okay, so back to the other video. This was just a small addition I had to make because I did say I would do it. So, hardest to play, for sure. Now, in terms of damage rank, both Summoner and Redmage tend to have similar DPS. Depending on the encounter, one is... They're pretty much the same. They both have a raid buff. Blackmage has the potential to be the top DPS in the game, but you really need to know what you're doing, and your party also needs to kind of support you a little bit to make the most out of your job. Doesn't mean you'll always be standing still casting and getting carried by your team, no, but it will mean that they will adjust for you a bit. Say sometimes you do a healer position so you don't have to move as much. But yeah, as you can see, Blackmage is for sure the hardest to play. Summoner is for sure the easiest to play. Completely clear cut. There is no doubt in anything. Especially Redmage is a bit of melee. Even if he has all that extra mobility, he also has the issue that sometimes you need to go in for your combo. So you play both at range and melee range, which is a bit different. So yeah, Summoner the easiest, Redmage in the middle, Blackmage the hardest to execute correctly. And that's how I see it in terms of casters. So yeah, and eventually I'll do, at the end of covering all the DPSs, I'll do a video while I go through. I just talk about all the DPSs in terms of optimization and whatnot. But that's gonna be for later. Because like I said, Blackmage is only really good if you can really optimize it and make the most out of it. If not, you end up getting a better value out of a Summoner or a Redmage, if you're not gonna try to optimize around it. Also, it always will depend on your party comp, but overall, that's what you should know. Okay, so we're gonna leave this one here. I'll thank you for dropping by, and I'll see you on the next one, which will probably melee DPS. Bye bye.